Hello, and welcome back to
It's
the
gonna be
AI
heavy AI this week.
podcast.
Gonna be heavy. All the AI haters better turn us off
Gonna
right
be
now. It's gonna be
heavy.
heavy.
Yeah, sorry, friends. It's an AI show now.
Aaron is way off the deep end. You guys thought I was bad. People were getting on
Way,
me. Aaron broke the
way off the
needle
deep
off
end.
the plan. He's way off the edge. Maybe you could tell us about your OD on AI.
Yeah, so I maxed out my
Maxed it
Claude Max
out.
subscription. So I'm in the penalty box until 3 hours and 53 minutes from now. Unless I want to pay through the nose for usage, I have hit 100% on my Claude subscription, which is hard
Yeah.
to do, I will say. I am on Claude Max, so it's not like I'm on some, kiddie plan like I was on a
That's right.
kid
It's the big
server
boy
earlier
plan.
this
And
this
not
month.
and this is your weekly quota, not the like thing where you ran it up too
This is
fast
my
and they put you in the penalty
weekly
box. This is for the whole
uh-uh.
week you're done.
This is like, hey, we need to talk, kind of like done. Like,
Right.
are you okay, big guy?
Claude's like, we've
Like
lost
that
$1,000 on
kind
you
of
this week.
done.
We think that's enough. Like, we're gonna pause
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I'm about to get a call from enterprise sales at Claude. So
Oh, there
Claude
we
is
go.
very good. Claude is
I do like
very
Claude.
good.
I
You
love
know
Claude.
this. You've been Clauding. You've been Clauding quite a bit. So I have a couple of meta thoughts. One is the activation barrier is much, much lower now. So in the past, as you well know, and our dear listeners know,
Yes.
I've had a lot of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of ideas. Some of them are
Occasionally.
really good.
Some of them
Eh,
are.
some.
That's all.
Some. We'll take some.
Most ideas
We'll
are
allow
bad.
some.
So yes, some are good. That's good.
Most
Mm-hmm.
ideas are bad, so some are good. Now but like the cost benefit hasn't always been there. And sometimes
Yeah.
I've just ignored that anyway, to my own detriment. But now the calculus is extremely different on what makes sense to build out. So we can use a concrete example. I tweeted this week that I built out like a tool for my blog to like selectively edit an image to remove part of the background, but not the entirety of the background, right? I wanted a little bit of artistic control and be able to like create this effect that I am going for. What the effect is not terribly relevant, but I was trying to create an image with a certain effect. And I could have taken the image out of my blog's backend and put it into Photoshop, which I know how to use, despite what people on Twitter
Twitter's
were
so
telling
bad,
me.
man. I don't know. It's so bad.
I've been using Photoshop since I was like 9 or 10. I told somebody it was since I was 12, but then I later calculated it. And I remember the Women's World Cup in 1999. I remember creating like cool desktop backgrounds of the U.S. women's team because I was like so pumped that we were so good. And that in 1999, I was 10 and I already knew how to use Photoshop when I was 10. So to all the random Twitter haters that definitely listen to our podcast, they definitely are here. I know how to use Photoshop, but here's the thing. I'm already in, the back end admin area. I already have the photo. I'm writing the article and I want to just tweak the photo for the purposes of OG images only, right? So instead of downloading, opening Photoshop, saving it as a PNG, re-uploading it back into this area, I got to build an upload, widget anyway. I just walked over to Claude and was like, hey, here's what I'm trying to do. I need basically like a JavaScript canvas and this kind of brush where I can do this kind of thing. And it took about 30 minutes of back and forth and I was done. And it works exactly like I need it to work. It's not a Photoshop replacement. I'm not pretending that it is a Photoshop replacement. But what it does do is it puts the tool that I need with no extra things in the context in which I need it, right? And I think the context is probably a big deal. And so after having done that, I just felt like, oh, the bar for building things generally, but tools specifically is so much lower now because I can literally do it in 30 minutes and not, pretend that I can do it in 30
Yeah.
minutes and it takes
Yeah.
a week and a
Right.
half.
Exactly.
That's what it used to be. It used to be like, oh, this will be quick. And then, a week later, I've
Right.
wasted an entire week. So that was one of my big realizations, which I will let you opine on. But I posted the tool to Twitter, and many people liked it, and several people
Yeah.
just despised it.
Anti-crowd.
The artist class rose up and were like, "Congrats, you reinvented," and I'm like, dude. One, I'm
Right.
not trying to sell this to anybody. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think that this is novel. I think
Right.
that this is useful, and they didn't care, so I blocked them all. So that's my first meta
There was a
principle.
guy in there with like
What do you think?
something about MS Paint or something, or was that you demonstrate? There was some crazy shit
Yes,
in the Twitter. I was like, this is like you've
some
lost minutes of your
crazy
life, gone, never to be back, reading some insane
gone.
things. This whole episode, let
Mhm.
me tell you, it's like Neo looking at the Matrix. I feel like there's gonna be so many interweaving touch points here. Like it's all coming together in this episode. But anyway,
Yeah.
first of all, this is
Yep.
like a whole isn't you're even generating the image through your back end, right? Yeah, this is a
I
whole
am.
thing.
Mhm.
And so,
I am.
yeah, like to be able to
Yep.
edit that, you generate it and then you edit it and it's all right there makes total sense to me. Yeah, I thought it was
Yep.
great. I thought it was like, super cool. I couldn't believe how cool it was. I was like, wow, this is like super cool. Like he's taking out the
Mhm.
background. You're got a thing where you're painting along the edge of something and it's
Mhm.
like not over, you know,
Mhm.
it's respecting the
It's
edge. Like,
respecting
I was
the
like, how the
edge.
hell do you even do
Yeah, it
that in
was
JavaScript?
cool.
Claude knows everything.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I thought to me, this is like, so this is one of my big kind of takeaways as I've been thinking more about AI is like this touched on it exactly, which is the maintenance and daily work stuff is like everybody right now, I feel like is focused on, like, especially on Twitter. It's insane. Everybody's like, look, I'm building a new thing. I'm building a new thing. I'm building a new thing, right? It's like, we can build so much faster. We can build so much faster. New product, new whatever, right? And I think that's like almost like the totally wrong take. It's like the revolution is what you did, which is like I can now maintain the thing I have so much more quickly and easily, or I can make improvements to the thing. I already have this good idea. The good idea
Yes.
exists. Now I'm just using
Yes.
Claude to let me improve it in 30 minutes instead of 2 weeks, or more likely never, because you just wouldn't ever get around to doing it, whatever.
Never.
All that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. That's where like the revolution is, because you already know you having a blog is a good idea in your case, right? Like this is how you sell things, how people
Correct.
learn about you. This all makes total sense. That's not in question. The only thing in question is how good can you make this thing you already know is a good idea. And now this is going to really help you make it good, faster, better, strong.
Yes. I am not I think that's a salient point. I'm not creating uh like a big white screen that
Right.
says chat with AI. Like that's the apparently the only idea that anyone has ever
Yeah.
had when it comes to building with AI is what
Right.
if we add a chat box? And it's like, sure, but instead, what if, you have a system or a process or something that is functional that has 50 paper cuts that could save you 10 minutes to an
Yeah.
hour a week or a day? Well,
Right.
spend 30
Yes.
minutes building a tool to do that,
Yes.
and then it's fixed forever, right? And so I think based on most of the Twitter hype, it is like, let's build something completely new with
Right.
dubious usefulness. And I think what smarter people are focusing on, or what people should be focusing on, is how do I improve my workflow? Not necessarily like my development workflow, but like my
Yeah.
production. Like, how do I make it easier for me to be a human producing
Mhm.
good things on the internet using AI? So let's use AI, which is non-deterministic, fuzzy, wonky, kind of weird, getting better all the time. Use AI to build a tool that is deterministic, that meets
Yeah.
your exact needs, so that you can become the one person factory machine output
Right.
content
Well, and
god,
in the
whatever it
past,
is.
right, you had to use general purpose tools, and general purpose tools were the best tools, because it's like, well, I
Yes.
could build this
Mhm.
background editor thing, but that's gonna be very difficult. Nobody's built a background editor thing because there's not a market for just a background editor thing. So I have to use Photoshop.
Correct.
So Photoshop will be my flow and show Photoshop. I mean, it's called Photoshop and everybody in our industry hasn't used it to edit a photo ever, right? Like people are like, we're slicing up files and we're doing web design in it, right? Because it's like whatever, general purpose image editing, even though that's not its original thing, right? But now it's much better for you to have this purpose-built tool that does only the part you need instead of Photoshop, which does tons of other stuff. It's very complicated, blah, blah. You don't need any of that stuff. So now you can have all these bespoke things, which either would have been hard to do or impossible to do before. And yeah, it makes total sense. Yeah, I love that part. And then, yeah, so then, yes, the people building new, I feel like this is the big thing I was thinking about, is like the kind of flip side of this, which is like, for my bootstrapper people out there, right? The software developers, the bootstrappers, I feel like AI is leading them so astray, because it's like building fast was like never the problem, in my opinion. It's like you're building the wrong thing is the problem, or you build right.
You're building the wrong thing super fast now,
or I'm building the right thing super fast. But the problem isn't that I get to market 3 months quicker or 6 months quicker or 1 year quicker than I would have otherwise. That's not the problem. The problem is you build the thing, it works, and then you have no idea how to sell it. You have no market to sell it into. So it's a beautiful thing that just sits there and has 0 to 5 customers because you never figured out how to sell it. And so AI is not fixing that problem for you either. So like, this is the thing, is like people are so distracted by how it's like, it's the drug juice, right? Of like, oh, I only want to code, and now I can only code even faster. And it's so exciting. And my vision becomes reality so much quicker, but nobody knows about it. And you're still not able to sell it, which is the problem. So,
so what do they do?
But I
business
think
dad.
that
What's
the thing
what's
is,
the
you
plan?
have to, first of all, just in general, I feel like that those skills are becoming even more valuable. Like if you are the kind of person who has some idea about how to go about selling something and that sort of thing, like that's even more valuable now, because now there's all these people building all these products. Nobody knows how to sell anything. So that's great if you already have the skills. If you don't, yeah, you got to sit down with Claude, right? And come up with an actual business plan. Spend the same amount of time you spend coding, going back and forth with Claude on how you're going to actually create viral elements to your product, or how you're going to actually figure out Google AdWords to like run ads, or whatever the case is, how you're going to build an audience on social media to push the thing you want to do. Whatever it is, like you should be putting almost as much time into that as to the coding, because now you have more time. In theory, you have more time than you did before.
In theory.
Because now when you fire off Claude to go work for 15 minutes, you could do something businessy for those 15 minutes and figure out how the hell you're going to sell this thing you're building. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have the total answer for what I think it's the same problem it's always been, is like people want to code and they don't want to sell. And that's a problem when you need to sell the thing you built. I don't have a good answer, but I just feel like it's making it worse for people, actually. Not in the way the AI haters think, but just in a practical sense. You're getting the code done faster, and you're still on the train to nowhere because you have to actually sell it.
So for the individual, I don't love the term indie hacker, so we'll say, small business person, the bootstrapper. How much do you think the balance between product and distribution has changed? Like the importance of product versus distribution. You claim it's always been the exact same. I think it's more. I think distribution is maybe doubly.
Oh no, I do. I'm not. Yeah. It is. I mean, it always is important, right? And I think it's more important. There's more noise, right? There's more stuff than ever. There's going to be even more stuff. So, like, if you have some kind of, whether it's a direct audience, I still think the audience part I'm a little more dubious of than I was, because there's so much noise there too. And also now, even Twitter. But certainly all the other social platforms have moved more towards your audience not really mattering as much. Like the algorithm's now going to push people, based on the reaction to the individual tweets in Twitter's case, or videos in Instagram's case, or whatever it is. So now even I got 200,000 followers. That's not, it used to be that meant you got in front of all 200,000 of them all the time. And that was insanely valuable. And now it's not that. Like, you're going to be posting out there, but not necessarily that a lot of people are going to see what you're doing. So yeah.
I count a tweet as a massive success if the view count surpasses my follower count.
Exactly.
That's how bad it is. I'm like, oh, wow, I have 55,000 people saw it. That's as many followers as I have. That's a smash hit.
And there's always a problem, especially with Twitter. I'm sure most social platforms are like, yes, you have 55,000 followers. How many are real? How many are human? How many are still active, right? So maybe there's
how many are still on the platform,
actual humans who are actually active, who actually
Exactly.
follow you, right? So that's always been a thing with that, like that. But yeah, I mean, like whether it's mailing lists, whether it's just ads, whether it's influencer ads, whatever it is, yeah, that's all the stuff you got to figure out. Whether it's virality in the product, that's still one of the best ways, of course. If you can figure out that angle to make
Right.
the product itself viral, that's the best because then other people are going to talk about it on social media for you and all that stuff. So yeah,
All right, so let's talk about
yeah.
if you're business dad,
Mm.
let's talk about AI
Oh,
dad,
John
John
O'Nolan.
O'Nolan. Okay? So let's talk about the public things that he's shared about
Mm.
Alcove, which is his, newsreader app that is from public information rapidly evolving because I saw some tweets about it includes, the
Yep.
mostly technical podcasts. I don't know if it includes
Probably
all
just mostly
podcasts or just
technical.
ours, but we'll say that it's just probably just ours. So analyze what he's doing from some of these perspectives
Yeah,
we've
so
been talking about.
alcove.news, right, is his thing. Well, so there's two things. First of all, he's incredibly successful, so it doesn't really matter what he's doing. Like just on the base level, right? He wants to do this because he wants to do
Okay.
it, whether it's a good idea or not, and whether it's going to make money or not. I think he thinks it will, but it also doesn't matter. So it's a little different for him. But I think he's already going to be playing in a world he has a huge advantage in, right? Like he owns Ghost, right, which is a big blogging platform, and now he's building an RSS reader. Well, there's a ton of crossover there, right? Like he can leverage all these blog
Mm-hmm.
users he has into his newsreader. He could have direct connections between Ghost and Alcove. He could do all kinds of stuff there with this huge audience he has, with the huge customer base he has. This is a related product to his other thing, which I think is very smart. So yeah, so like that's the same kind of thing. If you're a bootstrapper, it's like if you're known for X, you should probably build something around X, right? And not build something way off, totally unrelated, because you don't have as much leverage there as you do. So yeah, I think John Nolan's right on it. And yeah, and what he's building is exactly what I want, which is even better because it's not just an RSS reader. It takes your newsletters, which some of the other ones do, but it does what nobody else does, which is it takes your YouTube feed, which is what I really want. So I can keep track of certain
Yeah,
YouTube feeds I don't
I
necessarily want to
know.
watch all the time, but it's there. He's very AI forward. So I assume he'll have some, summarization capabilities at some point, if not day one, some things like that. So yeah, pretty excited about that.
Let's go to twitter.com's, what is it, Alcove News on Twitter. So we only share what is publicly available. He has the basics of a mobile app going.
He's
So
on
there's a little, this is what I'm talking about with the bar.
it.
There's no way he would have ever tackled a mobile
No,
app pre
no.
Claude 4.5. It looks like he's got there's podcast with transcripts and diarization. So he has our
I don't know
names
how he
in
does
the
that.
transcripts, which
Yeah.
is not easy to do. Um, so he's got a custom podcast player, YouTube subscription. So he's got newsletters, RSS, YouTube, and podcasts so far. So this is becoming your subscription
Yeah.
media hub if you want to escape the algorithmic
Yep.
feeds, is what I'm gathering. Yeah, this is good. So you're saying,
Which
one,
is
he
an
doesn't need
advantage,
it.
of course,
He's
yes.
fine.
Yeah.
Rich is an
Yeah.
advantage. You're hearing it here first, folks. We'll say, it's a nonprofit, so who
Yeah.
knows how much he takes in. We'll say cash flow is an advantage,
Yes.
security is an
He's not
advantage.
risking going hungry if the Alcove doesn't work out, right? Like, he's got a day
No,
job, whatever.
no.
I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea what the, what he owns and not owns or whatever, but I assume he's making a reasonable amount of money, you know?
Nonprofit. Can you imagine? Can you
No,
imagine those
that's
words ever
ridiculous. I
coming out
don't
of
know what
your
he's
mouth,
thinking.
Ian?
That's a
Nonprofit?
crazy, but
Oh,
whatever.
come on, get real. Oh, he's doing it for the
Yeah,
good of the world or something like that. Anyway, so
yeah.
he's secure. He's also building in
Mhm.
public. So he's got personal followers, but he's started an account for it. He's
Yep.
sharing updates. People are following the account. And he's got, distribution channels. So this is like adjacent to the thing that he already does, and so he can very convincingly push this through some of those
Yeah,
channels
I think that one
potentially
of
in
the
the
things I think
future.
one of his maybe a little bit of an issue for him right now, and it's like the AI people building with AI have no trouble building in public, right? Like there's plenty of them out there. They're look at the thing I built with
Right.
AI, right? Okay, got it. But the problem with
very
that
loud.
as like a business strategy is like you're just gathering in the other people who are into building with AI, but you have dubious usefulness
Mhm,
in terms of
mhm.
actually selling them what you're building, right? Like they're not necessarily in the market for what you're building. So I think what he has the advantage of is he's
Mhm.
doing that phase right now because in the like trenches of like the code and let me share the code and that kind of thing. But he also has a way to pivot to more normal people because he has this huge customer base of ghost people and ghost users that are just normal
Right.
people who are making blogs. They're probably interested in reading blogs and similar types of content. And so those are going to be all people he
Yep.
can one way or another expose Alcove to at the right, point when it's probably a little more fully realized and it's ready for normal people to get in there. Then he's got those people in his back pocket. So he's at a huge advantage there. Yeah. So I think that's going to all work out very well, I would think. Because that seems like a very good group.
I thought when he came on the show and was like, "Yeah, I'm working on 2 projects simultaneously so I can pop back and forth between Claudes while one is working." I thought he was insane. I get it. I totally get it. I
Oh boy.
100% get it. It makes
I still have
perfect
a hard
sense
time
to
with that, I
me.
have to say. I
Um,
don't maybe it's my old brain, it's like the context switching. Yeah, it's a
your
little
old
hard for
fuzzy
me to
brain,
like, be
yeah.
on 2 totally separate things at once, but, I am a little bit.
Yeah, I wanna hear the things that you've been building. There's a new edit
Oh, yeah.
button in our, admin area
Yeah.
for Mostly Technical, which contains our sponsors, and so I wanna hear what you've been
Mm.
building after this break. To thank our sponsors, this week is brought to you by IttyBit. IttyBit is media APIs for developers, convert, compress, and extract intelligence data from your video, audio, and image files with just a few lines of code. You can start processing for free at ittybit.com. And again, new sponsor, TL Draw. TL Draw is the app that works kind of like Miro or Figma, but you can build it yourself. So if you ever wanted to build an app like Miro or Figma, an infinite canvas, zoomable multiplayer, you can have it in React with normal React components. TL Draw is the world's first, best, and only SDK for building infinite canvas applications in React. So you can use it for free online, or you can go to tldraw.dev/mostly technical. And listen, if you're going to check it out, please use our link so that he knows that we're very good boys and sending him a lot of traffic. tldraw.dev/mostly technical. This week is also brought to you by friend of the show, Peter Soom at OG Kit. OG Kit is the perfect way to add dynamic open graph images to your website using HTML and CSS. And it recently powered the Laravel Wrapped 2025 website, which is super cool. Ian and I are paying customers, although we should get it for free. What the heck? But we do pay for OG Kit. This week is also brought to you by Newsy. Newsy is a proposal software built for developer agencies and high-end SaaS
There we go.
sales. Speaking your language, Ian, high-end SaaS sales. Get real-time notifications the moment prospects open your proposal and know exactly when to follow up to close more deals. Try it for free at newsy.com. So that's newsy.com. And I think I forgot ogkit.dev. All the links will be down below. It's nice to have so many
Yeah.
friends. I know all of these people. I know these
Yes.
people and they're making good tools. So thank you all for sponsoring the show. Lots of great developer tooling products here and high-end
I
sales. I
love
know that
it.
your
I love it.
ears perked
This
up
is
when
what
we
these
started
people
talking about
need.
high
Get
dollar
out there.
sales,
Get your Newsy
baby. This
proposals.
is
Don't
what
just
these
buy
people
another AI
need.
tool. Get your Newsy proposal.
Yes. Get your Newsy proposals. Start making actual
Yes.
sales
And
and
get your
actual
ads in for
money.
2026, people. Get the write-offs in on 2025. Get the write-offs in. You can buy up to 6
That's right.
months out of mostly technical. Get it in.
That's a little
Mhm.
accounting trick right there. You get the
Yes.
expenses this year, buy it 6 months ahead of time. If you're on cash basis accounting, you get the
Yes.
expenses this year and the savings this year. The revenue all comes in 2026, and so you don't have to pay taxes on that
Yes.
until much later.
I
Ooh, we
do that
love a
all the
timing
time.
difference. We love a
December,
year-end
baby, I
timing
buy stuff. I'm
difference.
like, we're buying
Ah,
hardware, we're
feels
buying
good.
things. Gotta buy. Gotta buy.
Feels good to
Yes.
optimize those taxes. This is being 36 years old. I'll speak for myself. I don't know how old you are, but this is the real
Yeah.
grown-up
Push
stuff
those
right
taxes
here,
out a year and a
man.
half. Let's go. Come on. Um,
That's right. All right, what are you doing?
so
You're
I want
Claude.
this
What
is
are you
also like
doing?
a little perfect tie-in to what we just been talking about. It's all interconnected today.
It's all we're just
how
pro
important,
podcasters.
like, all AI doesn't change all the stuff that's always been important, like branding.
Okay.
Like, we just call it Claude did this for like,
Mm.
I didn't really like name Claude at first, but the more you say it, the more you're talking about it, it's like, it's just nicer to
Mhm.
talk about than even like ChatGPT or whatever. Like, it's just easier to say. It's like a person, it's
Mhm.
friendly. Like Claude,
Mhm.
yes,
It's
Claude,
verbable.
yes,
You've been
Clauding. Claude
clodding.
built
I've
the
been
edit button in
clodding.
our back end since we don't have outro yet to be our back end.
Mhm.
So someday it'll be our back end, but it's not today. And
Mhm.
we need an edit button. So Claude built was one. Yeah,
Claude needs
Claude
to
needs to
build
build
outro,
outro.
frankly.
Um, even stuff like the Claude command line, Claude code, it's just the best
Oh,
software, and it's
it's
nothing to
so
do with
good.
AI. It's like just the interactions, just the features it has. Like,
It's
it's
so good.
just better than all the other command line coding tools. And so, yeah,
The way that it asks
yes, that's so much
clarifying
better since they added
questions,
that. Yes.
oh, it's beautiful. It's
So there's just all
beautiful.
the skills, the little custom slash commands, like whatever. There's a bunch of things it's got that are really
Oh,
nice,
custom
and
slash
it's
commands.
just better than the other tools. It's just better tool, and like the interface, the UI, it's just better. And so these things are all still important,
Mhm.
and the AI doesn't solve most of that for you. So you still need to do all that stuff. So I just love how it's all the things people are like, oh, maybe these things aren't important. They're still important. Still need to have
Yep.
proper businessing as you go about it.
Does that fall under the
Yes, it's
craft
still under
umbrella? Is that
the
what that
craft of
is?
everything, right? You still have the craft is still needed. Like the UI, it's how you use it. This is one of the things we've been talking about in the John O'Nolan Godfather AI channel is like, um, yeah, like do you build UI first or do you build backend first? Right. Like I'm
Oh,
a
yeah.
UI first
Yep.
guy most of the time because to me, like that's how the software works. Like if doesn't matter what the back end does if the front end doesn't feel good to use and isn't accomplishing the goal for
Yep.
the user, who most of the time is less technical than the people building the software. And so having that mindset about it to me is important. No, obviously lots of people go about it differently and it's not the only way to do it, but that's part of my mindset with doing it. But yeah, mm,
And I will say, you, even with your fuzzy old man brain, gave me the
ooh,
best tip ever, and that's to use what is it? Is it app dot
yeah,
no,
mm-hmm,
gemini.google.com/app. So one of the problems with these things is
yeah,
everything is named the same thing. It's like you use Gemini. Oh, you mean
right,
Gemini CLI? You mean Gemini and anti-gravity? You mean so gemini.google.com/app. That's like the normie chat interface. Your tip was go there, turn on the Canvas
mm-hmm.
tool. This is what I was missing. I was chatting with it and it was
There's
like,
some code,
sure, you could do
yeah,
that. And I'm like, no, do it. Yeah, do it. So turn on the Canvas tool, which is not what I would expect, the
right,
code thing to be named, but neither here nor there, and start designing with the normie chat interface with the Canvas tool on. Start doing like your design pass over there because it's
yep,
completely isolated. It's like you can click this little button to highlight certain parts of the page in the canvas and be like, hey, change this thing, and it like has really tight context about what you're talking about, and then you can literally download it as a one page
yep,
HTML document. It like does tailwind CDN, it does react from
mm-hmm,
whatever, some CDN or something,
yeah,
so it's one page, and then you throw that into your project, and then you tell Claude, I've created a reference design. It's at, reference.html. Go over there, look at the structure. Don't worry about the implementation. Look at all of the structure, and that is what we're going to use for our reference. And Claude's like, okay, cool, I can do that. That's just the best. That was a
yeah,
huge boost
that's what
in
unlocked, like,
productivity
with the
for
new
me.
HelpSpot website, which I think is now, like, 10 times better than it was before. It's like because I still wasn't really happy with the design. I've been working on this website for a while. It's super annoying. And then, like, I just went to Gemini and because Gemini's such a better designer. So this is where it's like, it's just a lot better designer than
It's
Claude
crazy.
or ChatGPT. So yeah, but then just on its own, it's not because the other thing when you try to design in the app, it just gets confused all the time. It's like, oh, I updated those components, but then and it does something
Yes.
weird, and now there's weird stuff happening in multiple places,
Hmm.
and like you can't just get that.
And it's like, oh,
Right,
I've
yeah,
preserved
it
backwards
doesn't.
compatibility so that,
Yes.
and I'm like,
Yes.
no,
So
this
it's
is
just like,
brand
no,
new.
it's nice, clean. Yeah, it's a single page. It's not even that big because it does outsource a lot of the like libraries and stuff. And it also
Hmm.
works in the Gemini UI. It's like a functional UI because it's like a little
Yep.
Next.js app or whatever it is. I have no idea.
Hmm.
Yeah, so now one thing I do, I think it sounds like differently than you, is I don't even put it up. It's not available through the browser at all. I just take the code, right? I copy the code out of Gemini, and then in Claude Code, I just say, okay, we're gonna update this logo cloud section. And here is a mock-up reference. Only look at the logo cloud part. And I paste the whole thing in there. Every time I paste the whole thing in there. Yeah.
The whole
And
thing.
then it does great at picking it out. And a lot of times I wanted to keep what Gemini did because Gemini is also better at if you have any like animation or stuff like that. Yes,
Little
like
micro
Gemini's better at those
interactions.
things. So I'm
Yes.
fine with letting it see, but it's still implementing it like in the Claude file, have like the technologies we're using. So far it hasn't like
Yeah.
tried to turn any of my stuff into little React things or anything. It's just been like, no, it's using
Yeah.
Laravel, it's using Blade, it's using Flux, but then it's just styling it in this Gemini style.
Yep.
And it's got the responsiveness. If there's little interactions, it keeps those, but pretty good luck with it keeping those. So yeah, like I just do it that way and it's been great.
So we do it the same way, except I
Oh,
put
I
it
thought you
in
were having
a
to go to the
file
browser.
that Claude can
Okay.
read the whole file.
So
No.
you just
So I
having it
download
read
it
the
and put it in
file.
a file.
Okay,
You
yeah.
copy and
So same
paste it.
thing.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
That way I can come back later and be like, hey, go back and change, my logo cloud to match the reference logo
repaste it.
cloud. And
Yeah,
then I'll have
I've
to
been just going
paste it
back and
back
forth
in.
section by
Yeah.
section. I've just been like one section in Gemini, then like I just take the whole thing and paste it in. Then I do the next section in Gemini and paste it in. So whatever.
It's
But
probably faster.
yeah, so it works great. So
Yeah.
definitely everybody should steal that trick.
It
I
works
feel like it's
great.
been really good.
V0 is
I
also
haven't
a
played with
very
that too
good
much.
designer. So if you go over to Vercel's
Mm,
thing and use V0, you can do the exact same thing, which is
yeah,
like design in a vacuum and then download it. Although that gives you a full
bunch of files
project and
and
it's like, hey, here's a Next.js
yeah,
project. I'm like, I
yeah.
don't want that at all. So sometimes I will design in V0 and just use clean shot to like
I
take a
have done that a few
screenshot
times.
of a certain component and then say, here's a
Yeah.
screenshot, like implement this. But V0 is pretty good
Yeah, I
at
should play with
design.
that at some point. I don't know. But
I don't know,
yeah, I
if you're
got
already
all the Google
subscribed to
stuff.
Google,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
it's
need to buy
separate, right? Yeah,
V0
you
credits.
gotta it's a
Yeah,
buying thing. Yeah.
it's separate.
Oh geez, there was
Mhm.
something along the lines there. Claude coding. Oh, what the other thing I had Gemini do was once I had like the design locked in, because occasionally I've had to like there got to be too much stuff in there, and then Gemini gets a little weird about loading this like kind of huge project with a bunch of different sections and stuff. So I had to
Sure.
start fresh, but I had it based on the original design document, like app it built like create a design file that explains like everything. So it's like, okay, here's our
Mm,
vibe, here's the different colors we use, blah blah blah. Here's the structure, blah 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 blah. And now that's like my design thing. So I reference that in the Claude file. So like now Claude's
mhm,
gotten quite a bit better at implementing little edgy design things that I don't go back to Gemini for because it can see it in the rest of the app. And also it's got the design outline now. So I feel like that's dialed it in a little better in terms of at least using like the right vibe and colors and things like that for small stuff.
mhm.
Yeah, that's been pretty good. It's pretty cool now. I also built this humongous document of all like information about HelpSpot. So like basically from our current site, our other site, our
Mm,
documentation, whatever, I have this giant file. And then it was really huge. And I had it like do like kind of a summarization, but holding on to like the key stuff. And then the new website is like all these section blocks. And so now like I just tried this the other day for the first time. I was able to build a page like very nicely of like, here's the content. This is what I want the page to be about. Use the existing
mhm,
sections we have
mhm.
and or if there's nothing if there's not an exact pre-existing one like you can use our components to build a new section that's appropriate blah blah came up with a plan did a few tweaks boom out popped a new page
Yep.
fantastic
That's one thing I've been doing a lot is that pattern of get to a place where I'm happy, ask the model, generate
yeah
guidelines based on this thing. And then it you're functionally as much as one can with
right
these things, you're
hmm
locking it in, right? So you're saying like this design is great. I want to
right
do this moving forward. Write a design guideline, put it in your Claude MD saying this is how we design things in this project. And then when you're like, hey, I need a about us page, it's like it's gonna be
yep
80-90% right without you having to like go back to Gemini
yep
and design an about us page because you have those guidelines there. I feel like I'm constantly doing like update guidelines, comb through the whhole project to
yeah
adhere to guidelines. So I like come up with a new, ooh, this is a good way to handle whatever. Add this to the guidelines. and then I will run this custom slash command that I
Yeah.
have called slash guidelines. And when I run slash guidelines,
Mm,
it reads all the guidelines and then it looks through the project to make sure, like, are we
yeah.
adhering to the guidelines? And I feel like that's a it's a strange, like, I feel like this is programming differently where I'm doing more entire code
Mm,
base sweeps than
interesting.
I have
Okay.
ever done before, where it's like, all right, let's change it to this
Right.
color system, or like, let's use these radix colors or whatever. Add this to the guidelines. Great. We're using
Mhm.
radix sand or whatever. Thanks, Steve, for telling me about radix sand. It's a great color system. Now go through the whole project and
Mm,
update the color scheme. Great. All right, we're going to change this from PHP unit to pest. Great. Let's write some guidelines about pest. Now
yeah.
just go
Mhm.
fix everything. And that's kind of how I feel like it's just like, get a little messy, clean the whole thing up. Get a little messy, clean the whole thing up. And it's just fundamentally different than anything, like any pattern
Yep.
I've ever worked
Yeah,
in
I do really
before.
like that. Like, I've done some big batch stuff with, like, moving over the site and, yeah, I mean, that's a lot of the way I used to like to work, which made me super slow because, like, oh, as I, like, go through it, I'm like, "Oh, I discovered this other thing. I
Mhm.
kinda wanna do things differently." And I go back and redo the things, but that's, like, obviously now it's another month of doing that. Yeah, now it's like
Mhm.
you just go through and Claude be like,
Yep.
"Oh, like, fix it all." Um, and I am excited to get back
Yep.
to, this big project we're doing in HelpSpot and Outro, where it's more like app coding where I really kind of care about everything. Because like in this website, I'm letting it be a little sloppy. And I'm not doing as much of those big passes for like code type stuff because I don't really care. It's like basically a static
Right.
website effectively, even though it's in Laravel. There's like not really hardly any business logic at all. Although I did build a search engine, which was kind of cool. Claude built me a search engine. I was like, I don't want to pay for Mealy search and stuff. It's just for like
Yep.
searching for where our pricing is. It's not like doesn't need to be super sophisticated, but it needs to be a little sophisticated. So now it's got a little, it uses SQLite's full text index thing. And, on deploy, it
Mhm.
will
Mhm.
build the index of all the pages and clean things up and shove it in SQLite. And it was like great. It took like an hour. And I got a nice little search thing. And it's
Yep.
logging it back to the analytics thing when people search. So I keep track of that and like what people are searching for. And it's like, yeah, you don't need it's crazy. It's
It's a
great.
brave new
It's
world.
great. So we're in
Yeah.
agreement. We're both on the same page. AI podcast from now on. Every episode.
That's crazy. I never thought of all things that you and I would
We got
agree
him,
on,
everybody. We
it would
got
be
him.
AI coding. That's crazy.
Here's the
That's
other little AI thing I've
crazy.
been doing. And this just over the past couple days. This kind of again ties in with the earlier theme of like practical uses and just little things here and there and work stuff. It's actually Gemini being good has pulled me back into Google more than I was. And so I've
Uh,
actually ditched
yeah.
Superhuman, which I didn't really love anyway, to just go back to Gmail. And I have this like whatever. There's this
Yep.
plugin that cleans up Gmail, so it's not so crazy. But I want to use Gemini in there. So it's got the Gemini integration. So it's like I want to be able to use the AI in my email to like clean
Mm,
some stuff up or just even like summarize a long email. It's like a newsletter. I don't want to read the whole thing, but like until alcove.news is out, I'll have that. Um,
right. Sure. Yeah.
and, there was somewhere else that Google has a little AI widget that was useful. But anyway, like, there's just like yeah, oh, that's what it was, in the
Everywhere.
browser. Like, I don't know if I didn't see it or it just showed
Yeah.
up, but there's like a little thing in the top of Chrome now to like call the AI. And I was like, "Oh, this will be useful." Like, occasionally, like, we're now obviously like copy and paste the stuff over to ChatGPT or whatever. And
Yeah.
now it's like, "Oh, just ask it right in the browser."
This is the most anti old man yells at cloud, and I never
There we
expected that
go.
from you. To have Ian Landsman say, I want to use Gemini in my email. I love the Gemini
Dude,
button in the browser. I'm like,
I'm still
what
on the
show am
I
I
love the
on?
tech,
This is
baby. I love the
crazy.
tech.
I know you do, but this doesn't make this
Oh,
one doesn't
interesting.
make sense to me. You're like, I love the
Here's the
Gemini
thing.
button in the browser. I expected you to be like,
No,
why
no,
are you
give
putting
me
the
it.
Gemini button in my browser? I don't want the
Oh,
AI
oh,
everywhere.
no,
Get
see,
out of here with the
I thought
Gemini
you knew me better
button.
than this. See, I
That's
don't care about any of
crazy.
that stuff. I don't care about the privacy.
No.
Give me the AI everywhere. Yeah, give me the AI
Oh no, I don't
everywhere.
care about that at all.
Um, because here's the thing, like all good developer business people, I'm super lazy and I just want stuff done for me and I
Sure.
don't want to have to do it, right? So like,
Same.
yeah, I love the AI everywhere. Give me the AI everywhere. Um, I'm actually like, I don't know, ChatGPT, I feel like they're in a little bit of a weird spot,
Oh, I'm done.
Like I
I'm
still
out.
use it as like because I do
Yeah.
like the Mac app, but Gemini's coming out with a Mac app. I don't know. It's weird. Like it's like you see as it infiltrates everything, It's like, you don't know anything about me, and you're not other than being
Yeah.
AI, I don't really have any reason to interact with you. And now
I don't use
yeah, so it's like,
ChatGPT
well,
at
Google
all.
knows a lot about me and like all my work email, my personal email, all that stuff's like, and my calendars and all that stuff's in Google. So that's going to make sense to use Google for that. And then maybe you bounce back and forth on whatever the best coding one is, which right now is Claude, both because the model's good, but also as we discussed, there's just like the software's better and those
Mhm.
things. It's like, I don't know where OpenAI fits into that for me. I mean, the APIs are still useful probably for like
Mhm.
building products on top of or whatever. I don't think they're going out of business or anything like
Sure.
that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. They're pre-buying $1 trillion in data center stuff, but I don't know, like, if they're going to need all
I
that.
know. And I'm like,
Yeah.
ChatGPT, I don't really like it that much. They're spending more money than they have ever had
Right.
times like 100, and I'm
Exactly.
already over them. And I don't know. I think ChatGPT still wins
It
with
is the leading
normies. I
there.
think like offline people, like our nanny and our friends who aren't
Hmm.
tech people, they
Right.
talk about chat all the time. The most online brain thing I've ever seen is somebody was like, when people say chat, they're talking about Twitch chat or like stream chat, and I'm like, no, 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 they're talking about Chat GPT. When normal people say I asked
Yeah.
chat or chat, it's like they're talking about Chat GPT. So I think they're still
But I
winning with
don't know.
consumers,
So here's
but
the thing, I
I
had
don't
some very
know.
interesting interactions with that, one at Thanksgiving, but it's like, first of all, it's like Windows. I think of it like Windows, way back in the day, Windows. Everybody stole
Yep.
Word and everything like that from work, right? Because it's like, well, I got Word at work, I'm not gonna buy Word at home, right?
Yeah.
So like everybody's gonna have some kind of advanced AI at work. So if I need to do like advanced stuff or something harder, I'm gonna have something I can just throw some stuff in
Hmm.
and like have it churn away on it, right? And then for just your day in, day out, hey, I got a weird bump. Hey, like whatever. Like I'm just asking a how do I
Got a
how
weird
do I
bump.
make a pumpkin pie, right? Like whatever normal AI stuff. I'm
Oh, that is like
I
a
was just gonna say,
hundred percent of what Chat
50% of
GPT
AI,
chats are. It's like, I got a
50% of
weird bump, and how do I make a
50%
pumpkin
of
pie?
AI
For
stuff is health
sure.
stuff
I'm
for
not even
sure. But anyway,
kidding. Yes. Yes.
my aunt was like, every time I have a question, I just type it in the Google box and it just gives me the answer. Like she's not even thinking about it
Mm.
really as AI. It's just like
Hmm.
Google now gives answers in long
Yep.
form and I just look at it right there. Right. So
You're
it's
not
like
wrong. Yeah.
I feel like they got their stuff straight in time that like people didn't go totally away from Google yet. And now it's like, well, yeah, I just still use Google and it gives me a good AI answer. And that's good enough for most people. It's
Yep.
totally free. You just get it in every search. And so I know between like you have to work for some advanced stuff, you got Google just giving it free. It's just a commodity. The actual stuff is already kind of a commodity. It's so cheap, right? We're all paying nothing for it, even as it
Yeah.
is. So it's going to be just basically free everywhere. And it's like, then where do I'm going to chat? Or I'm going to be in my Facebook Messenger. I'm going to be in, I'm sure Apple will have something. I can just ask the Apple AI at some point, right?
Yep.
Maybe if they ever get around to
Maybe.
it. But like, I'm just going to have all these AI agents from the big companies that already know all the stuff about me. And it's all going to be integrated. I'm just going to use that. And like, why am I going to go over to ChatGPT?
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, that's why he hired Sir
Yeah.
Jonathan Ive, is because they're trying to build it,
Right.
the other direction, which is like, let's go get integrated into people's lives. And boy,
That's a
that
big
sounds
one.
like a tough road to hoe. I don't think I
Yeah.
want to. I don't want to do
So,
that. I will say, like in my head, and
mm,
this is vibes only. Gemini 3 coding agent is the first pass. I'll throw Gemini 3 like, hey, go like
uh,
do this, and I come back, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. Then I have Opus 4.5 do like
mhm.
the better stuff, and then when it's big guns time, I use
What the hell's
AMP.
that?
So I use and I think that's is it AMP
You're so
code?
deep. It's crazy.
ampcode.com. I'm so deep, man. I'm all
Ah,
inside the
you're so deep.
machine.
You're so
I'm
deep.
in the grid. Movie reference. AMP code it's pay per use. So that's
Mm,
already like but it's so powerful that
hmm,
I think it's valuable enough. And it's one of those, so it's by the SourceGraph people. They just split into two companies. AMP code is its own and SourceGraph is another one. But SourceGraph historically has been the like knowledge about your code base, like it's like
mhm,
formal machine learning. AMP is
mm,
the AI side of it. And it does incredibly good like code based understanding
hmm,
based on their source graph heritage, code based understanding and planning, and like control
Yeah.
of the models. So whenever it's time to be like, all right, I've done as many passes with Claude as I can. Let's go in and do like a comprehensive overview. Let's tackle something that's
Mm.
been a little bit tricky. Then it's time to fire up AMP, get the wallet out,
This
and
guy.
start coding.
Oh man, I don't know. I will check this out. I haven't even played with that. I don't think I've even heard of it. I find that Gemini is pretty much as good as Claude for me. Really, I haven't been using it as heavy. Like I said, I
Hmm.
haven't been in the like deep heavy code stuff. So I don't know for sure. But to me, I'm just back at like, well, Claude Code is funner to use. I like it better. And so
Yep.
like I'm mostly just use that because the ways I have to use Google Code are not like as clean as Claude is. But
Yeah. I find that
does it?
Gemini goes off
You
the
lose it?
rails sometimes. You're like, hey, do this, and it's like, great, I did
I
that, and I
hate when it
also
touches the
touched
other
these
stuff.
8
That's the
files, and I'm
worst.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
why? Why did you do
Then
that?
you gotta really
Yeah.
be watching.
So
Yeah,
I don't know, but as long as you like commit anytime you're happy,
right,
that's not really that much of a problem because you can just look at it
right.
and
You
be
could just
like, well, you
bail.
effed that
Yeah,
up, and just reset it, close the
right.
session, and start over. So I do find that my like hygiene habits have
Mm,
had to improve a lot around like testing and linting and
right.
style guides and commits
Just
and
to make sure there's nothing
workflows on
weird. I know
GitHub,
I
that
wanna get
sort of
better. When I get
stuff.
back into
So
the real code
yeah.
stuff, I also wanna have, like I feel like there's room in the world for, like, yeah, some agents that are, like, focused on checking the work the last agent did to make sure that, like, does this make sense with
Hmm.
what he actually asked and, like, with the coding standards and all this stuff? Um,
Oh man, it's coming for you.
yeah,
You're about
yeah,
to go
all
down the
that,
rabbit
yep, and
hole.
then I also want
Yep,
one on the I wanna do
that's
one even
great.
for our mainline stuff on, like, the PRs and stuff just to have it, like, do a security check, like, whatever. Yeah, that's I'm thinking about
Code Rabbit is
CodeRabbit,
great for that.
for that, but anyway, let's pay some bills before we go, talk about more AI stuff.
Yeah, because I am bleeding AI money, so we got to get some money in the door so I can hand it off
All
to
right.
these big
First off, our
companies.
super duper old school friends at Titan. We build and rescue web apps and dev teams. They will rescue your team who is drowning. That's what they do. They come in, they fix it. They've been doing it for, I don't even know, 10, 15 years, whatever it's been. So check them out at titan.com. Really appreciate them for sponsoring. Our oldest, mostly technical friend, bentonow.com, the email marketing and CRM platform teams actually love. Send your product marketing and transactional email with Bento, one app, all your email marketing needs. Check them out, like I said, over at bentonow.com. And Flare by Spotsy, all-in-one error tracking and performance monitoring for your Laravel application. Check that out at flareapp.io/performance-monitoring. Thanks everybody for sponsoring. All right. So, what other AI stuff you got going on? Have you automated anything in your life? What about your personal life? Are you that deep yet, or you haven't gone that far? Okay.
No, no, not yet, not yet.
Yeah.
But it's on the
Mhm.
table. It's definitely on the table. But I haven't gone that far yet. I am preparing for the back end of the blog, which will be aaronfrancis.com, to be like kind of
Right.
like my playground. Like if I want a little automation, it's
Yeah.
a Laravel app, a full like actual Laravel app, so I can have it on the scheduler. I can have that's where I have my
Right.
Telegram thing that texts me like stuff like that. So that is the playground where personal
It
automations will
ties in with
play,
your
but there's
Life
nothing there
OS
yet.
idea you had a while back, but we're just gonna
It is the
chip
Life
away at it.
OS. Yep, yep. Hmm.
What do you think about this? I know your kids aren't
Exactly.
old enough for this quite yet, but I'll give you a little scenario. You tell
Mm.
me what you think. So I got my 15-year-old. He's a
Hmm.
go-getter. He's in 2 science classes. He's got a lot of homework and stuff going on. So basically they have trimesters in his school, and now in this new trimester, they're
Hmm.
doing
Hmm.
whatever. You have these electives, and his elective, the one he wanted, he didn't get, so he's in this public speaking, which we kind of pushed him into. We were like, take the public speaking, it's super useful. You're going to use
Yep.
this in your life, right?
Very useful.
The way the teacher's running it, he's a little bit annoyed because like he's had to write the speeches. So it's not like they're just giving him a speech and they're working on his technique. It's like you write the speech, which makes sense because often you'll be writing your own speech, of course. But it's like another
Hmm.
thing to do. It's more writing. Writing isn't his very favorite, whatever. So I was like, listen, here's what you should do. Because he's not graded on the writing. It doesn't matter what you're speaking about. All the stuff is about the like your
Okay.
technique, and that's what they're trying to teach. So it's like, come up with an idea for the what you want to do. He has ChatGPT. Go to ChatGPT, put in a sample of your writing. Say, this is my sample of my writing. Okay. I'm making a speech. Here's what I want it to be about. It needs to be 5 minutes long. Here's some bullet points. Let it output the 5 minute speech. You then read it, tweak it, and then, perform it. And I'm like, you don't have to write this because you're not being graded on it. So you're not cheating in my mind. But do you think he's
Mm-hmm.
cheating? Is this cheating if he
Mm-hmm.
does it this way? I don't think it's cheating. And I think it's just useful life skill at this point.
I don't know. I don't know if
Right.
he's cheating in the
If they would
class.
consider it. Yeah.
If
But do
it's
you think it's
explicitly, yeah, if it's explicitly like
right?
you're graded on the delivery. I guess a question would be, could he deliver a speech that was
I also offered
famously
that up. I
written
was like,
by
just
someone
pick
else?
Gettysburg Address or whatever, find something and just do it, right? But
Yeah, like, is there a
right,
JFK speech you could just give about
right.
we go to the moon because
I
it's
don't know.
hard or something like that? And if the teacher's like,
Right.
no, you have to write it,
No.
that's evidence that you should be writing it. He
You
might be
think?
cheating
Okay.
himself unless, so I think writing is tough because I think part of the process of
Yeah.
writing is the struggle and is the like figuring
Mhm.
out what you want to say. And so as long as that's there, I think it's okay. Um, but I think,
Mhm.
like in the future, like I'm thinking like writing conference talks or like, or, whatever medium that he'll be or location that he'll be speaking in, you will need
Right.
to write
For
something
sure.
out of your own
Yeah.
mind, brain, and soul that is original, but you will also have
Right.
these
That's the
tools that he
thing.
currently
Right.
has, if not better ones. And so I'm torn on like make him sit down with a piece
Yeah.
of notebook paper and a pencil. I think that's probably like the
Mhm.
pure way to do it. Um, but I also think the tools can be useful, but I think the problem with writing, um, is like the good stuff comes
Yeah.
from the blank page. Like somebody on Twitter was like, "Well, why don't you just ask AI to help prevent the blank page problem?" And I'm like, I think that's like half of the
Mm.
value in writing is staring at the blank page, figuring out what am I
Yeah.
actually trying to say? What do I
Mm.
actually believe? Um, so for this specific instance of public speaking class, I don't think it
Mhm.
super matters, but I think in life, if you're like, "Ooh, oh my gosh, I've got to write like a best man toast." Sit down and struggle with it. Don't ask AI
Hmm.
what's a good best man
So
speech.
hold
Like
on though,
that's
but I guess there's another
terrible.
factor here I should mention. So I feel very comfortable with this. I mean, in a sense, the only reason I really offer this up is because his school he does tons of writing, like more than at normal school. So they're writing. I mean, 10th grade
Mm,
he's writing like 7, 8 page papers, and a lot of the stuff is like multi-page papers.
okay,
So he does a
that's
lot
good.
of writing. So it's not like, oh, this is his like chance to write, and like in every other class he's doing like multiple choice, and like now he's not writing. So he gets a ton of writing. So I feel
Yeah,
like that part
that's
is not
good.
it's
That's
not
good.
taking away from that too much. But it's also like just
Hmm.
the reality of like, I don't know, like if I was writing a best man speech, I would be like, here's the like interesting anecdotes I have, but I'm not like a particularly good speechwriter. And me and AI would like write it into a real speech. Like that's what I would do. Cause I'm not like a
Mm,
especially strong writer. So I would be like,
interesting.
yeah, let me like use the AI to help me refine this. Like I would need the ideas. I wouldn't be like, hey, AI, come up with a good best man speech. Cause that right. Yeah.
A funny
Right,
story
yeah.
about when we were
Or
hanging
like
out.
just
Yeah.
something that's gonna capture people and has nothing to do with anything. Like I definitely wouldn't do that. I would want to give it the data, but I would definitely also use it to like help me refine it and like make the transitions and what because like whatever. It's something I do once my life
Well,
or
I think,
whatever, you know?
yeah, part of that is different. Part of that is
Yeah.
like help me refine it. I'll feel
Mm.
better about that than like, hey, I'm writing a best man speech. Like, what are some good patterns? Ask me some questions and we'll write this thing together. That I'm like,
It's old Aaron.
ugh, I
Old
don't
Aaron sneaking
know.
in just a little bit. Yeah, we'll
I
break him. We'll
know.
break him. Don't worry.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Old Puritan
6 months from
Aaron. I
now.
think if you have something to say, you should say it. Is I think maybe my opinion. I mean, that's how I write my
Mm.
newsletters. Is I don't hands on keyboard them, but I sit down with a blank, docs.new, and it takes me to Google Docs, and I hit Option Space, and I just start talking. And like as I'm talking, I'm figuring out like what I believe, what I don't believe, what I want to say, and so then I'll edit the transcript, and then sometimes just ditch the whole thing, go back and
Yeah.
say what I actually think. And I feel like that one, I hope is more
Mhm.
readable and more interesting. But two, it's more valuable for me, even if even if everyone looked at it and they're like, oh, this is just AI slop. It's more valuable for me to do the actual thinking and writing, even if people on the other side think this isn't very good. At least I
Yeah.
now have clarified my thoughts and have added to the substrate, the corpus of
Yeah.
knowledge of who Aaron Francis is. I've added new beliefs and thoughts onto this like amorphous like thing inside of me that informs
Yeah.
everything else. So I don't know.
It depends on the
It's
goals,
an
right? Like
open
your
question.
newsletter is like there's a lot of self-reflection, there's a lot of you working through stuff like that. That
Yes,
is a big part of the newsletter, right?
correct.
So that's different to me than like I just have an idea I need to convey for business purposes or whatever, and I'm
Totally.
just
Yeah,
conveying this
that's
idea, right?
that's
And
fair.
and what's the difference? Like I'm conveying this code right now. I didn't write this code anymore. I don't write any code anymore, right? Like the AI writes all the code. But
Right,
at the end, it doesn't matter. It's just like even when Toy Story came out, and people were like, "Oh, computer animation is terrible," and then everybody loves Toy Story, and it's like the greatest
right.
movie ever, right? Like now every animated thing is completely computer generated, and you could have never done these things without the computer. Like
Mhm,
you couldn't have hand drawn any of this stuff at this level it is now. So
mhm.
I feel like that's just where we're gonna be with AI in 3
Yeah,
years. You know what
I
I mean?
think
It's like, yeah, of course,
conveyance
everything
conveyance of
written is
fact
AI
is
written
different. I think
because
you're
like
right.
it's going to help you do a better job. Except
Except
for
the
the Aaron
Aaron
Francis
Francis
newsletter,
newsletter.
because you're gonna convey the information better, which is your goal. Like, I want to clearly communicate this thing, and that's my goal, and it's going to
Yeah,
be better than me at it.
and I think it maybe is even different than I want to convey the information. It's almost like I want to convey the feeling. Like I want to not even convey, I want to like transfer the feeling or the thought process or the emotion. Like a conveyance of fact, like if I'm going to do a business presentation, yeah, I'm going to have chat clean it up and like maybe I'll even have chat write some of it. Be like, "Hey, these are the bullet points. This is what I'm trying to convey. Here's like my source documentation that I've written. Like let's turn this into a
Right.
cohesive business presentation." It
Yeah.
doesn't affect my soul at all. But like if I'm trying to transfer enthusiasm or emotion or feeling
Uh,
from me to you, I think I want to
uh,
have written that. I think. Um and the other aspect is like if I'm writing a business presentation, I don't need to add to the underpinnings of who Aaron
yeah.
is as I write that. If I'm writing like here's what I'm going through and here's what I'm learning, part of that is like fundamental. I am changing as a
Right.
person through writing this
Right.
document, so
Right.
I should be writing it. So yes, I agree. Different
Yeah.
purposes require different
Interesting.
tools. Public speaking class, maybe the best class
That's what
that
I
they
try to
could
tell
take
him.
in high
He's
school.
thinking about dropping
For
it. I'm
sure.
like,
For
"No, dude, I was
sure.
like, just stay with it. I
100%.
think it's gonna be valuable, even though it's
Yep.
gonna be painful." I
Yep.
also took it in high school. Very, very useful, I think.
Yep.
Because just the kind of thing you don't get a lot of experience with any other way. Like until you have to actually do it, and then
No.
that's hard. And it's like to have done it.
Yes. I didn't go
No,
as
I
far
didn't
as,
go
like,
there.
debate team, like, I didn't wanna do all that, that feels like a lot, but I took one public speaking class in high school, and it was, like,
Yeah, I
incredibly
totally agree. So I will
valuable.
let him know that you think that. So, all
Yes,
right,
for
I have another
sure.
topic. I don't know. It's a little off of AI, but this made me think of it. Is that this weekend, I think it was, the Primeagen, I think most of the people are aware of, coder,
Okay.
YouTuber guy. Yeah,
Whom we know, like, and
I
love,
do, I
or
do. I
whom
don't know
I know,
him, but I
like, and
do
love.
like it. I don't know if I love him, but I like him. I like his shtick. I like his, now he's going more YouTube-y, or it's like he slices it up
Yeah.
into a little more bite-sized stuff, so I actually watch it more often versus, like, when it's just, like,
Yep.
him crazy
Same.
coding stuff, like, for 7 hours, like, yeah,
Streaming for 4
I can't
hours, I'm
do it,
like, "I
it's too
can't watch
much.
all this, man."
Um, but he had an best video he's done by far, I would say.
Oh,
It was
tell
him
us.
reacting. There's like a young guy, maybe like mid-20s, who's like, I've been a developer,
'Kay.
self-taught developer, had a developer job for 3 years, been unemployed for a year and can't get a job. And so he was playing clips of the kid, and then he's doing his comments on what the kid said, right?
'Kay.
And me and Prime are 100% on the same page. Like literally every piece of advice he had for this kid was exactly the same as me. It's like,
Strange
"Let's go." Me
bedfellows,
and Prime,
you
it's
and
like
the
because the kid is just
Primeagen.
like he's like, he's blasting out resumes, and he's not getting any calls, or he's not making fun of the
Yep.
interview process, and it's like, "That
Mm,
not gonna
this is a
work."
hobby
Yes,
horse
this
of
is a hobby
yours.
horse. And
Yeah.
Prime also brought up an amazing point of like, yeah, people are so trained from 2 or 3 years ago when, like, if you had ever done any development, we will just hire you
Sure.
and we'll figure it out, right? Like those days are probably gone forever. And it wasn't like that before. It's not going to be like that after. That was a little special time for a couple of years there. That time's over. And now you're going to have to hustle. You're going to have to do like, one of the things he says, like, I
Yep.
never write cover letters or I rarely write cover letters because I know they're not going to call me back. But it's like, yeah, that's why they're not going to call you back because like,
That's why they're not
you got
calling
to
you back.
do the cover letter. Like, you
Yeah.
got to sell me on why I should call you back. He doesn't follow up.
Yep.
He doesn't, all the things that like you have to, he does not networking and make connections, blah, blah, like trying to get in the back door some places, like all the things like that you have to do. You got to hustle. If you want to be out there getting the good jobs, you got to hustle. So you got to play the
Gotta
game.
play the game. Unfortunately, you can hate the
Yes.
game,
The
but if you want
game
to
is
win, you gotta
unfair.
play the
Private
game.
knowledge is that. There's lots of things unfair about the game.
Yep.
And
Completely
private knowledge on
unfair.
both sides is kind of unfair because now every job, people, 500 people applied every job. So like on the employer end, it's tricky. It's like, how do I find a
Mhm.
needle in the haystack? And now I'm going to be ruthless. And people who don't have
Mhm.
cover letters, they just automatically get a no, even though that's unfortunate
Yep.
and that's maybe you think it's not fair. But I'm a real person reading it, and so
Do you wanna be mad or do
exactly.
you wanna
That's the Aaron
win?
Francis
That's the
philosophy.
question you have
Yes,
to ask yourself. If you wanna be mad,
yes,
you can just be mad and say, "I'm
yeah,
not gonna follow your rules." If you wanna win, you can
yeah.
just follow the rules and maybe, you know what? Go above
Yes.
and beyond just a little
So we've been
bit.
hiring this support role, support engineer, and like the number of people who will do obviously so many people don't even do the bare minimum you ask. And then so it's just easy. Okay.
Sure.
And then almost nobody goes above the bare minimum you ask. And it's like you could just do anything above the bare minimum and you just stand out. The number of people we
Yep.
gave an interview to who like weren't even really the best fit. We probably shouldn't have even done the interview, but like they made a custom page for us or whatever. And like they did something a little
Yeah.
more bespoke. They referenced stuff that they actually knew about us and took the time to research or whatever. And it's like, so they got a shot. Like, even though I knew some of them maybe wouldn't have made it, it's like they got a shot. And if they
Yep.
had been awesome, they would have got the job. You know what I mean? Like, you get the chance to get in front of us and do that.
And this is the flip side. They were not
Right?
the best candidates.
Yes.
And they got a
Above
shot.
people who were better candidates. Yes.
That's the good thing. That's the good side of
Yes.
this unfair game is these people, probably the best candidates, were like, F the system, I'm just going to fire something over the
Right.
wall, and you didn't even look at
Yep.
it. That sucks. Wow, that's too bad. But these people who maybe don't even
Right.
qualify for the job,
Yes.
they got to get on the phone with a human because the system is unfair and they played the
half an hour
game.
of work.
Like that's the good. That is the
Yes.
upside of the
Yes.
system is unfair. Is
Yes.
it is visible. Like it's very transparent. Like the rules exist. You just look at them and be like, oh, well, I don't belong in this job, but I bet I could weasel
Yes.
my way in if I just like cared a little bit. It's
Look,
like, oh, great.
Every
Way to
time
go.
you're doing
You played
something
the
when you apply for a
game.
job, you should be asking yourself, is this the exact same thing everybody else is doing? And if the answer is yes, then you need to
Correct.
figure out how to do something else above and beyond it or whatever it is to like make yourself stand. Every hiring manager is looking for anything that makes somebody stand out from the total generic
Yep.
resume that everybody's resume is. And you just got to give yourself that little edge. So yeah, so it was fascinating. I definitely highly recommend checking out this on YouTube on the Prime Dish channel. Yeah, good job.
Good job,
Very
Prime.
good. What about a database school update?
Database school update. We've got Advent of
Okay.
SQL coming. So got some videos to record, some playgrounds to build. Yeah, feedback has continued to be positive. I've got a couple of what's new in Postgres 18 cooking right now. So the content treadmill is alive. If I can pull myself away from, the AI grid that I have inhabited, that'll get out there.
Oh boy.
It sucked me in. I'm a part of the machine. But yeah, I continue to feel very at ease with that whole property. I'm like, this is good. This is what I was hoping for. This is what I wanted. Yeah, just now I'm producing content and I do need to come up with a cohesive strategy for the database school YouTube channel, because that's going to be my main, probably top of funnel for people that don't know me, and I haven't put enough thought into that yet to come up with like what exactly are some series or types of videos that I can be producing over there. So I need to put some dedicated hours into thinking about that, because that will be the top of funnel. I'm pretty sure.
You got to look at. Did we talk about this last week about Alton Brown? Okay, you need to go check out Alton Brown's YouTube because I know you didn't do it. That's what we need Aaron Francis. We need Aaron Francis's
Yeah, I didn't.
YouTube to be Alton Brown, but for databases.
Okay,
Um,
deal.
but the other thing, I don't know if this is a fully realized thought, but there feels like something to me where like database school could have like your videos, right? And the content of your videos. I like this.
Good so far. Good so far. Yeah.
Also, you've sucked into something or other all the like documentation for the systems you cover. So it's like back supported by that. Okay. And then there's like an Ask Aaron thing, because obviously the videos can't cover everything. So you still need to have everything.
Sure.
But also you have your videos, which are their own take, their own content, a little bit different than the documentation that's just raw, right? So you'd have that in the mix. So you obviously you could just kick somebody out like the answer, plus also this video is relevant, right? Blah, blah, blah. Or just or the answer, the text of your video is coming into play in the AI answer, of course, as well. I don't know. I feel like there's maybe like an AI. I just come here, this is where I go for database
I think you're totally
questions.
right.
Not just when I learn it, but when I have a question about how something works in Postgres, I go to database school and they have the answer.
Yep. I'm
on a roll.
I hate this, man.
You know I'm on a roll.
I hate this for me.
Man.
This sucks. This is 2 weeks in a row that you have been like predominantly weeks, right.
Man. I've been on a roll.
I'm only acknowledging 2 weeks. I'm only giving you 2 weeks.
I'm cooking.
That sucks.
There we go.
Yeah, that's a great idea. You're right. I have no pushback whatsoever. There's nothing I can say that I'm like, well, actually, this would be a little bit different. No,
you're even just like
you're
that
just
as
right.
a project.
You're
gonna love building that.
Right. Yeah, yes. I get to plug in, man.
Dial up your amps and all your crazy pay for AI tools. And you have you and the boys.
I get to back up the money truck, except not to me, to somebody
else. The goal
else.
of it being you eventually.
Yeah.
But I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
See, you would also suck in other types of people. Like
fantastic.
Like I would subscribe to that because sometimes I just have a database question. And I'd like to know where to go. You know what I mean? Like that would be awesome. Like you now have just people who want it as a reference besides just the pure. I'm going to sit down and watch 20 videos of Aaron going through Postgres.
You're so right. I want to like stand up and clap right now. Like I feel like, this is awesome. This is awesome.
On point.
Man, okay. Wow, that's great. That sucks. That's great though.
All right.
That's great. I love it.
There we go.
Okay.
Got a lot done.
Got to win. Let me end with a YMCA story. Went to the YMCA. Went to the YMCA, pulled up the minivan. Kids are just streaming out like a clown car, just one after another. How's it possible to fit that many kids in one vehicle? Very svelte European pulls up in a Lamborghini SUV. Parks like 2 cars down from me. Gets out. He's probably mid-40s. He's got this perfect salt and pepper hair that's kind of coiffed to the side. I look at him and I say, sir, that is the coolest car I have ever seen in my life. It's this red Lambo SUV, which I didn't even know existed, TBH with you. I had no idea Lambo made SUVs. So I tell him, this is the coolest car I've ever seen. I've got a kid's backpack on my shoulder.
Pink,
there's like 1 million water bottles in there. Yeah. And he's like, oh, thanks. It's so, he's got a cool accent, which I won't do here, but it's vaguely European. And he's like, oh, thanks. So fun to drive. My thought is like, why are you not at Equinox? What are you doing at the local YMCA? But good for you, man of the people, probably a socialist of some sort. And he's like, thanks, it's a lot of fun to drive. I really love it. I really appreciate that. And I said, I've got the minivan right here. If you want to ever swap, I could take yours and you could take mine. And he laughed. It killed him. It was a great joke. And he said, I think I'm okay, but I appreciate the offer. And I was like, you know what? I am still, even with the upper class, I'm still a man of the people.
That guy's got no kids, first of all. He's got no kids. He doesn't even have one.
He's got no kids.
He doesn't have an actual one somewhere. He's got nothing.
No, he probably... It's an SUV to hold probably designer dogs. I mean, there's no reason he needs an SUV.
He's got a Swedish model and a designer dog. That's what it's for. Probably. Designer dog in the back. Got the Swedish model. No kids. No accidental kids.
Yeah, because he's not going to Costco to get like 48 packs of water. So I don't know what he needs an SUV for. But it's the coolest car I've ever seen.
Man.
So I told him.
Okay, we got to do one more story. One more story before we close. Because we're not going to ever get to this again.
Story.
And it ties up the very beginning of the show, which is that when you were 10, you're making photos of the women's soccer team, and you're doing that because you're a big wig goalie. We didn't know you were a big wig goalie. That's crazy.
I was a wig. Soccer was my entire life. It wasn't my whole life from 5, but I was playing from an early age, 5. And then around, I would say around maybe 13 or 14, it started, maybe 12, it started to become my whole life. So, I played rec soccer growing up and then got into the select soccer world. And in North Texas, soccer is a very big deal. I don't know why specifically in North Texas, but it's a very big deal up here. So I ended up on a very good team called the Dallas Texans, which I told you was coached by a former Iranian World Cup player who was terrifying. Hassan Nazari. He owned the whole club and he drove this convertible Porsche and was absolutely terrifying. So I played select for the Dallas Texans, but then there's a level. I also played high school, which is just for fun. You're just dorking around with your idiot friends. But so I was playing club and high school at the same time. But above that, there's a type of league called the Olympic Development Program. And this is like the farm teams that lead all the way up to the U.S. national team. And so the ODP program, every state has its own state team. Texas happens to have two. We have the North Texas team and the South Texas team. And then like you go to these practices where all your enemies from your club, like your like select league, you're all on the same team now. And so like you go to these tryouts for ODP, all the select players are there, then you get picked to be on the state team. And then over the summer, the state teams all travel to play each other. So you go to like ODP camp and like there's a region. So it's like from Texas over to Florida up to like North Carolina is the region 3 that we were in. So you would go to these camps and like we would play Florida and we would play North Carolina. And it was so fun. It was brutal and a huge amount of pressure because like the national team scouts are there. And so while you're at ODP camp, like while you're at the camp, I'm there representing North Texas. I'm the goalie. I'm like, the big guy on the team, and they select a regional team. So then we're one step away from national team, right? So I get selected for the region 3 team. So I am now all my enemies from Florida and North Carolina and South Carolina, we're all on one team together.
Wow.
We're all on the regional team together.
It's like 16 or
this is like probably 16. So I'm on the region 3 ODP team. So I'm like, and this is the point where you start playing other countries. And so you're playing, you're playing the left side of our country, the north right of our country, and, north and right. Those are different, cardinal mechanisms, but it doesn't matter. And you're also playing like Mexico and parts of Canada and stuff. And so you're at regional camp. So they select people from state camp to stay over and form the regional team. And so I got selected for that several times. You're on the regional team. You're playing you're like traveling to these different places to play other nations. And then from those I think there are 4 regional teams in the U.S. They select the national team, and that is the team that I never ever made. So I never made it to the national team. Several of my friends did, and so I'll be watching like actual World Cup, and I'm like, I played with that guy. Like I was friends with that guy. But yeah, it was my whole life. So at one point, or many points, I'm on 3 teams at once. I'm playing high school, I'm playing club, and I'm playing state. And then it just like, it burned me out. I lost all joy for it. 100%. It became like pressure, stress. And I looked forward at college, and I had several offers to go play, obviously, because it's like, you're on the regional team. There's not that many of us. So I had several offers to go play, and I decided I didn't want my whole life to be soccer. Because I also looked forward and I looked at like, am I ever going to make it to a European league? No. Do I want to play in the MLS? Not really. Like, I don't want to make, $40,000 a year and play at crappy stadiums. And so I just decided to give the whole thing up and go to Texas A&M and have a proper like college experience and play intramurals with my idiot friends. And it was a blast. And I never played goalie again. So every rec,
really hung it up.
It just is like a chapter that is closed. Yeah. So every intramural, every rec, I played, indoor soccer as an adult, all of it. Never ever played goalie again, because it was like, I did that. I did that. I did it, I think, to a very high standard, and I don't want to open that door of my life again. And you know what? Turns out I'm a pretty good field player when you
Well, you
compare
got so
me to
much,
everyone else in the
yeah,
beer
so much
league. It's like,
training.
yeah, I've
Yeah.
had a lot of training. You know, you guys are just here to drink beer, so I can probably school you anyway. Oh yeah,
Wow.
that's my big secret. I used to be a regional level
Wow. Well, that's
goalkeeper.
amazing. That's a great story. That's really cool. I think it's cool to go that
Yeah,
high and like,
how
but
about
yeah, it
that?
is like it is amazing how
Mm-hmm.
hard it is to become like an Olympic athlete or a professional athlete. There's still, even at that level, there's
Mm-hmm.
still a lot of people in the mix to actually make it to the national team or whatever, and like
Mm-hmm.
a lot being maybe 20 or whatever, but it's still 20 people or whatever, it's like it's not
Mm-hmm.
it's two
Yeah.
people. Right. It's a
20
lot of goals. You
goalies is
only
a lot
need
of
two or
goalies.
whatever.
They don't
So
take very many. Yeah.
um
Yeah.
yeah. Wow. That's so cool. Cause I told you this before, but like my son was a goalie and like was into it for a while, but then like the pressure,
Mhm.
he wasn't really keen on the pressure when he lets up goals and that kind of stuff. So
Boy, high level sports is pressure. High level, like,
yeah,
quarterback, pitcher, goalie,
it's just all on you. It's like
that's a
you're the
lot
one
of
out there.
pressure. You
Right.
can be the hero or you can be
Yeah.
the GOAT, and I've been both,
That's
and
the
it
part.
is tough.
He
It is
never
tough.
got the, like, the joy of the huge save to win the game, like, didn't regenerate him
Yep.
sufficiently for the, like, the ball that got through and lost the game,
Mhm.
and, like, even though he was good and, like, he was all sometimes some of these teams, like, there's no defenders, so people are just, like, flying through, taking open
Mhm.
shots, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
but he was pretty good.
Dude, I absolutely wrecked
Yeah, that's
people when
awesome.
I was a goalie. Like, I was
Yeah, you gotta have
100%
that
fearless.
aggressive.
I would,
Yeah.
and because the
Yeah.
goalie's so protected, like, the refs are
Right.
always like, "You can't touch the goalie," and the goalie's like, "I'm gonna
Yes.
destroy you. I'm going to take your head off of your shoulders." I would just fly through people and just, like, completely body them,
Yeah.
and,
Right.
I'm not a small guy. I would wreck people. I was ruthless back there. Very different person on the field than
Yeah.
off. I would yell and scream. I would get cards for yelling at
Oh,
the
man.
ref. It was like,
We need
dude,
this guy on the show.
I was
Yeah.
wheels off as a goalie. I'm yelling at everybody. I'm not
Yeah.
punching people, but I'm like, wow,
Get some
we'll
sticks
throw
in. Yeah.
a little shoulder here, teach them a lesson. I love to teach a lesson.
Wow.
So
We need to get that
hung up
Aaron
the
Francis back. We need
gloves.
him on the show. We need him at database
I know.
school. A little bit
I
of
know.
elbow here and there.
Mhm.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay. Man. See, now I
Mhm.
wish I knew you then. I would have been like, hey, Max, you got to talk to this guy. But
Yep.
yeah, but
There's some
you
lore
have that
there.
killer
There's
instinct
a
there. It's
lot
buried
there.
in. Max, I don't know if you had that like I want to kill people thing.
It
You have
is.
that. It's inside there now. No, it's in
Oh, I
there. It's in there
had it.
still.
Yes. I wanted to kill
I
people.
do think a
Yeah.
goalie that's important though. That's what we actually used to talk about a lot because like yeah, you
Yes,
have
I
to
think
come
so.
out fearless. You have to be aggressive against them, cutting the angles and all that stuff, and it's like
Mhm.
yeah, but which I mean he would get pretty good at one point, but yeah.
Yeah, you've gotta be willing to slide full speed into another human
Right.
sliding full speed, and you're, like, basically going in, like, chest
Right.
into their running
Right.
feet.
You
Like,
gotta
that's the
stop the ball no
game.
matter
That's what
what.
you
Get
gotta
the ball,
do.
get the ball.
And
Yeah.
it's a lot,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you still ever
It's
play or
fun.
no? Like, rec stuff or
COVID
okay.
killed the
Yeah.
indoor league that I was in. So I played indoor rec right up until that place was
Mm,
pretty seedy already. Those
yeah, pretty
indoor
ratty.
fields. It's like, I think there's like actively
I used to
staff
hate those
growing
indoor
in
fields,
this
they're the
turf
worst.
here. And then
Yeah,
COVID was
I'm
like,
good.
I'm not going back there. And
Yeah.
the league kind of fell apart. And then that's when, I
Right.
started having a billion
Yeah, you're
kids. So
toast
there's no
after
time
that.
anyway.
Well, maybe you'll get some soccer
Yep.
players out of it if, they're into it. Yeah.
I would love that.
Coach the
Would love
team,
that.
you can have that whole dad experience.
No,
Let
no,
the
I
let the
don't know.
animal out of the
Yeah, I
cage a
don't
little
know.
bit.
No,
Curse
see,
at
that's
other
the
the refs, the
problem.
coaches. You be that guy.
That's the problem. Tell these 16-year-old refs that they're blind. Like, do you even
Right.
understand the rules of the
Dropping the F
game?
word
Like,
on him over and
no, that's probably
over,
not a good idea. Yeah,
Be your
exactly.
escape.
We'll keep that one locked
Alright,
up.
man. Well, good show. Thanks everybody for listening. Get your ads in for 2026 while you can write it off. Mostlytechnical.com. Email us, contact us, follow the show, all your favorite podcast players, etc., etc. We will see you next week. Later.